Welcome back, family. I'm not sure which part I'm on, but we're going to keep flowing and going, and I'll sort it out in the tags when I put it up there. And I'm sorry if I get excited, but like I said, I'm just flowing, so I have no choice here. The reason I got so excited when I was shuffling this, the card that shot out was Storm Warning, and I meant, like I told you, I've noticed everything, and everything means something. My daughter burns Goose Creek candles, and the candle that they had on the table, I was going to ask her if because I like to keep a candle going during my readings. I was going to ask if I could use one of the candles they had in their living room to put out here, but when I came here, she just so happened to already have one on the table, and it's a scent called Stormfront. And the very first card that came out in the Oracle of the Energies was Storm Warning, and it goes along with the theme of what we got going on now, because that's why I'm having to risk sounding crazy to try to get this story out to y'all because of what I've been shown. Now, the Inky had already seen how the fighting and the this and the that wasn't the way, and was trying to teach a better way, and Lil ain't having it. He is all about taking care of himself and the money. That's where the tithing comes in. That's where all the rest of that comes in. But again, we keep jockeying back and forth between these two books because I had to see the correlations of what's happening. Back over to the Bible side. After we get out of the Garden of Eden, they outline a lot of the breeding program, who begat who and who begat this one, and Limach and Laban and all the rest of that, who lived in 942 years and who lived 600 and da da da. And we hear about God getting upset, not wanting to know it, wanting them to build a tower. He confused the languages and scattered them. He also determined that their years would be limited to 120 years. So those lineages, those ages and stuff that we heard about in the Bible, people did used to live that long until Jehovah Enlil went back to the geneticist and insisted to cap our telomeres so that we don't live that long anymore. That's that living as long as we used to live allows us to find our way back to wisdom. And he said that cannot happen because the moment we figure out that they're not gods, their jig is up. However, again, I said it's more important than that now because just like we get skittered past all of that, and the next major scene and thing that we see in there is the flood story. The reason for that, and this part gonna really get you if it don't hit you as a parent, if it doesn't gut check you and make you understand who and what's going on with Yahweh, then I don't know what else to tell you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on. Get one more here. There we go. All right. Um, the reason I say that it's vitally important because the world that they came from, like I say, when I say their moral compass wasn't nothing, they was having willful relationships, marrying their brothers and sisters, and all the rest of that. Having fights with each other. Where what started all of this was Alalu, I think it was, in a fit of rage during a fight that they were having for the throne. He didn't play fair. He turned around and bit Anu's private parts off and willfully swallowed the poison to have a slow death. The face that you see buried in Mars, we've seen those pictures online on the internet. That is Alalu's face because he was buried there on Mars. These people got down like that. They were vicious, violent people. So the stuff that they see us playing, you waiting for Sky Daddy to save you from all this, he don't really see this as that big of a deal. He just really doesn't, because that's the world they come from. He Yahweh doesn't. Enlil is trying to help us get to that last page of Revelation promise that was given, because it is there. The potential for that is absolutely here if we can survive the next calamity, which is what I'm talking about now. The message that I was given, the rest of it, when um, at some point their weapons of terror were deployed here on the earth, which created a big issue for sure. Also, with the flood thing that was coming, that they knew that was a geo storm. By whatever was happening, it was something to do with the asteroid belt, and they didn't actually cause that one, but they knew it was coming because again, Enki had been intently studying the weather and mapping out the planet once they got here and all of that. So they were trying to prepare for it. Enlil, decided, since it already had started getting bad on the human breeding platform thing, whatever, on the home planet, they were going to all fly up, like board the ships and all of that, and leave, because they knew that the thing was coming. And Enlil said, let them perish. Jehovah said, let them die. We give Jehovah credit in the Bible for saving Noah. It was not the God Jehovah that saved Noah. It was the God Enki that saved Noah, because Noah was his son. And he tells you that in the book. They weren't supposed to mix. We hear them stories about the angels taking the sons and daughters and the laying with men and all that. And when I look at it from a pure celestial being, thinking of God as who we're taught to think God is supposed to be, the idea of a human actually sleeping with a real live, what we're told angels are, is absolutely ludicrous. We probably explode in the contact. But it makes more sense if you understand that they were extraterrestrials coming here posing as gods, and their moral compass was weaker than ours ever considered being. They don't see nothing wrong with sleeping with who they want to and all of that. And truthfully, from what they were telling, their way of procreating was not through genital contact as it is with us as Homo sapiens sapiens. If an Anunnaki warrior wanted to impregnate a female, he did it by kissing her. That's one of the reasons kissing was such a thing in television, when tell lies to your vision first got put on. But now it's gotten so desensitized and amoral that we're basically watching soft porn on regular TV. Yeah, all of those things play into what's happening here in the world, under the careless care, if you will, of Yahweh, Jehovah, and Lil. Because as an energy vampire at this point, like I said, it's suiting his purposes. And it ain't just the energy they're vampiring through the back door. Like I said, it got to be fed, people. You got to bring that money, people. And it's been going on for thousands of years, because what we don't realize, a day unto the Lord is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. That really is kind of sort of true in their world. They describe a shar as 3,500 of our Earth years. So the part that really, really got me is up until when he was telling the part about the flood and the deluge and how they got saved, and him, again, no other planetary methods were made to save him. An angel, if you will, or from the real divine, according to the ones they consider to be the divine, whatever iteration thereof, came and visited Enki and gave him the dimensions for the ark, which he saw to it without, because Enlil has said you cannot show your face. So he came to him in visions and gave him the information and instructions, and the people around, they concocted a backstory that helped him build the ark to the specifications that Enki was given in from the angel, and his son and whoever got on that ark with them was saved. That part is in the Bible. But it was, again, it wasn't Yahweh. Yahweh said, let them die. Let's roll up on out of here in our spaceships, and we can just call this a L and come back and start over or whatever, if there's anything left after this cataclysm passes. And Enki said no. He made a way. And then they found out there were other survivors. Like I said, the Canaanites up in the higher grounds, there were some survivors from Cain's descendants. They had been banished from Eden, but they survived the flood. And that was how Earth did not get wiped out. But it wasn't because of Jehovah's good graces. It was because of Enki trying to save people and hiding these tablets with this extra piece of information we need to connect all of the dots. That too was a gift from Lord Enki, not from Enlil. But what he was also telling, and again, we have to remember, Ashar is only one of their years. By the time he tells a little bit more of the story after the flood, but I realize even in reading the Bible, we get past the flood, and by the time they roll up in Jerusalem with Jesus coming into town on the back of the donkey, 3,500 years had passed, one of the Anunnaki years. But the Bible history is not a contiguous thing. They put together some of the old books from 3,500 years ago when that stuff happened, and then coming into what we call CE, the current era or the Christian era, after they killed Yahweh, they killed Enki's boy Job. That whole Job story, where they talking about God and Satan had a conversation and said God told Satan that you can do whatever you want to him, just don't take his life and all that. Well, that was Anu, the daddy, and Satan Enlil having a conversation, and we get credit for that with the boogeyman red pitchfork thing that they tell that lie. But at the end of the day, Job was Enlil's boy. Yeshua was Enki's. And that's one of the reasons why they killed him and turned around and put the sham of religion together to further blind and enslave people. But Yeshua was being trained in the ways of the mystic, of the Canaanitic religions. There's a beautiful documentary that's probably 10, 15 years old now. Jesus was a Buddhist monk. The BBC did that 10 or 15 years ago. Yeah. So, oh, I forgot. Well, it's three. We need four. Four of these. One. Okay. Wow. Past, unexpected, destruction, conflict. Yeah. These cards ain't playing. Y'all are definitely going to want to hear this reading. I'm not even believing what I'm seeing right here. I mean, I believe it, but it's the cards is carding today. But yeah. Oh, we're at 11 minutes, so I'm gonna stop here, come back in. I'll be right back. Love you, fam.